Y'all come on in. Come on in, y'all. Day 76, Young Thugga Rico trial. They put everybody number up here. Sometimes people keep their number for years. You know what I mean? Just because this Young Thugger trial, I don't think they should have put people's phone number up like this. Then they try to correct themselves by blocking out the phone number after they don't put the phone number up here. Something else, boy.
And as we can see, they're color coded, and then the name that was listed on the phone records is put in on some of those.
404-583-1990. Which exhibit was 404-583-1990?
So that's going to be 134 Echo Charlie was the broken down smaller excerpt.
Yeah, YSL Enterprise. These numbers still exist, y'all.
And for the 504-319-2920, what was the exhibit number for 504-319-2920?
Jimmy Winfrey.
The 135 Echo 135 Echo Charlie is the snippet portion, not records.
I called one of them numbers yesterday. It still works.
And for the 404-664-3383, what was that exhibit?
So that's going to be the 133 Echo Charlie. I believe that's going to be the full records.
Jimmy Winfrey number was changed, yeah.
What is 678-353-9229?
Wow, man, I ain't never seen anybody do this in court.
Okay. So that's going to be the 136 Echo Alpha is the disc with those four records.
And then what she gonna do later on? She's gonna come back and then try to act like she blocked the number
for the
out.
678-815-5790, what's the exhibit number there?
So the excerpt one, just a couple of pages one, is going to be the 138 Echo Charlie.
Duke? That Birdman number up there? I wouldn't change my phone number for nothing. Now she gonna try to change it. Block the
now,
numbers
when you
out.
did your analysis, when did you start your analysis from?
The time period?
Yes.
So from about 10 p.m. To about
look, y'all, then it gonna block the
4
numbers
a.m.
out.
Just kind of what was leading up to the time of the incident, and then just after the incident, so like a 4-hour window.
And is that 10 p.m. on April 25th?
Correct.
And is that of 2015?
Yes.
And is that leading up until about 4 a.m. on what is the date of the times you're referencing?
So April 25th, 10 p.m. to about April 26th at 4 a.m. So that's a 6-hour window. I'm sorry, my apologies, but yes.
And if you can just kind of walk the jury through what we're seeing in first 139 Echo Alpha. Just tell us who's calling who and what we're seeing here.
Yes. I'm going to lose the mic.
Please don't roll off.
You see they phone number. What you see?
Okay, so on this first page, what we're seeing is kind of just speaking the last four. The 2200, that's going to be 10 p.m., but the 9596, it's an outgoing call to the 1990 phone number. So if we obviously come down here and look at the our little chart here, so we have this unknown caller calling in to the 1990, which is the YSL Enterprise. Again, we have the same thing just a minute later. Excuse me.
So what y'all trying to say there?
So that means like no one picked up. And then the next call just a minute later, we have the same numbers involved, outgoing to incoming, and then 40 seconds. So there was actually contact made on that record. Next to the third one down, we see 1990. So now 1990 is calling out just.
I object to, so we know that there was contact.
That's what I'm saying.
What's the basis for that, sir? What's the basis for your objection? It just said 40 seconds, so we know there's contact made. I'm gonna object, this is speculation, Hold on a second.
Oh, he gonna overrule them because
And let me
they
ask you this, when it comes to the record
with the
of
prosecutor.
1990, as far as how the record is formed, what time zone is the record in for 1990?
Okay, so 1990, the way we get it from AT&T, it's UTC, Universal Time Coordinated. So GMT, it's also referred to. So basically, their records go off Greenwich Mean Time, which is in London. And so you have to do math from what the records are back to our time zone in Eastern time zone here. It depends on the time of the year, daylight savings, or not daylight savings. For this time of the year, it's -4. So what that means, these records, you have to subtract 4 hours to equal Eastern time. That's the way AT&T does it. Other providers will do the conversion and give you the records in our time as they are. So when you get the records back, you have to make note of that. You have to know that.
Yeah.
So yes.
Before you go on,
I don't see
ladies and
what
gentlemen, I've had a request that we need to take a comfort break. So please forgive us. We're gonna go ahead and take a 10-minute comfort break.
he love. That's all he do is take breaks.
Resume our
Now we about to get to this biz and to these phone calls. Let's get back on to this now. Man, let's get back right here. That's what I want to get to.
Now, I believe we were still at the April 25th dates. If you can just go through, let's start with April 25th.
Yeah.
Who's calling who? What phone numbers is making contact with another phone number?
Okay, so again, green, so we look down here, it's green, so we don't know who the subscriber is at this point in time. And it's at 22:04, so that's 10:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then it's calling 1990 and 0 seconds did not connect.
Okay.
Outgoing 22:05, so 1 minute after at 10:05 p.m. Outgoing to incoming 1990, 40 seconds. There's a 40-second connection between the phones.
Okay, but then
where, based off the records, there's communication for 40 seconds based off the records.
And let me ask you this, the
Okay,
time
right,
on the
yeah,
boards
yeah.
at the time
Let's
the
see,
call
pick up.
starts? Because I'm gonna,
Correct. If you went on further, yes, correct. So the next one is 2306. So 1106,
Picked up.
1990 is now calling 3383.
For 2
So again,
seconds.
we check who's 1990, check who's red, who's 3383, and we look and we see. So it's outgoing from what we have as YSL to incoming, which we have Jimmy Winfrey, and that lasted 2 seconds. There's a connection for 2 seconds.
all right. Now, starting on April 26, 2015, what did the demonstrative tell us? What's the truth?
So we have outgoing from 1990. So again, checking our kind of like our little index here, our cheat sheet key, whatever you want to call it. We have YSL Enterprises calling 3904, which again, we don't have the subscriber data off of cell phone records at that point in time, and it was 0 second connection.
Okay.
So again, continuing down, we have red, so 3383, which has Jimmy Winfrey calling at 1240, 004.
All right, y'all. They see, you see how they get y'all phone record when y'all be talking on these cell phones.
No connection. Outgoing 1990, 0043 hours, so 1243, calling what we have is Jimmy Winfrey, 2 second connection. Just continuing down, 0044 hours. What we have is Winfrey calling YSL, 0 second connection. And
They're not talking to him that
And
much.
let me ask you this, for the rest of this demonstrative, is it the Jimmy Winfrey phone calling the YSL
Yeah.
phone back up at least until 1:07 a.m.?
Correct. It's back and forth, and then obviously we see the duration of calls there, right?
Yeah, like they don't want to talk to Jim Winfrey. That's what it seemed like. But their own boy tried to set their own boys up. They ain't getting no
If
me.
you're 55 or over, did you know you could leave your loved ones within an
I don't want to hear about that right now.
Right there. Now, same thing. If you can just kind of walk through what do we see on State's Exhibit 139 Echo Bravo.
So again, we have the blue. Check down. We have blue for 9229. It's the phone that we identified by the subscriber information as a KYBE. So this is at 1:13 in the morning. That's easy conversion from military to or 24 hours in a day to 12 hours. But that's 1:13 calling 1990 for 4-second duration of the phone call.
And one's at 1:13 in the morning.
1:13 in the morning, yes, ma'am.
And Kai B, did we identify the name of the person with the Kai B?
I believe we did. I have to go look at the records. I believe we did.
Was that the number given to you by Investigator Gaither?
Yes. So that's Dominican Garland. And thank you.
Okay. All right.
See, somebody gave you this information. You didn't
So
know
we're
this
on
information.
number 2. We have 113. We have Green. Again, we don't know, calling 1990. So that's YSL
28 seconds.
Enterprises. And then 114, 1993. I'm sorry, we just did that one. That's my mistake. 43 seconds. Going down here, we have
Why we
YSL
skipping that one?
calling what we have identified as Jimmy Winfrey at 1:15 a.m. for 8-second duration. We then have YSL at 1:16 calling the 95, 96.
So they communicate.
7 seconds, so 60 seconds a minute. You can do the conversion in your head. Whatever it is, 4 minutes, whatever that conversion comes out to be.
They talked a long time right
It's
now.
about 4 minutes and 7 seconds.
Something to that effect, yes. And then here we have 1990. Again, it's 1:39. And then we have it going to the 95, 96.
You ain't talking about this.
Connection there. And then we go down to what we have as Kai B, the Dominican Garlington phone. It's 2:32 hours calling YSL, 0-second connection. And then we have YSL at 2:33 calling
But we can read this.
6080 for 71 seconds. We don't have the subscriber information at this point.
What?
Again, then we have this number unknown, 6080, calling back at 2:35, calling back to the YSL number. That's 100.
But okay, they know each other. So what's so what?
So again,
You don't know what they
do the
talking
math,
about.
60 seconds. So 2.5 minutes, whatever that math real quick in the head works out to be. Kai B, so Dominican Garlington, 2:38. It's the 9229 phone number calling YSL. Again, 42 seconds, so a little over half a minute.
Still, it
And then
doesn't
we
tell
have
you who was on the phone though.
5726 at 2:44 calling YSL. 18-second connection on that one.
And what do this prove? I don't understand these folks. I really don't. I'm trying to get some understanding, y'all. Just because these phone numbers up here and they talking to somebody doesn't mean they talking to the person they think they talking to.
Echo Charlie.
So same thing, 2:45 YSL calling 3383 at 2:45, 15 seconds. So YSL calling Jimmy Winfrey, 2:45, and then we now have 2:48.
Why is Jimmy calling him so much?
Contacting back to YSL, 22 seconds. We have Jimmy Winfrey at 2:49 calling YSL Enterprises back at 2:49.
I think that Jimmy was playing games and trying to keep himself out of
Again,
trouble
repeating 2:57 in the
and
morning.
putting people in
Jimmy
some
Winfrey
stuff.
calling YSL, 26 seconds, and then coming down again. So we have the 5726 phone number, which we don't have the subscriber information for, trying to call YSL Enterprises at 2:58, 0 seconds. YSL now at 3:02, calling what we have is 3383. So this is Jimmy Winfrey, 3:02 in the morning for 2-second duration.
Who
We
is
now
he
have Jimmy
talking
Winfrey
to?
at 3:03, calling back YSL for 3 seconds. 3:03 again, Jimmy Winfrey again calling YSL, 9-second connection there. So we're getting down to 3:07.
But that don't mean that he talking to Young Thugga.
YSL is now calling the 5790.
Yeah, more than one
5790
phone.
we have identified as YSL Duke. So for 3 seconds, continuing down, we have 1990 YSL again at 3:07.
They're all
YSL
friends.
Duke
That's
for
who they
another
talk. They
3-second
talk on the
connection.
phone. Me and gossip more than women.
3:08 YSL calling Jimmy Winfrey for 3-second duration of the phone call.
And what did this mean? Come on, keep going.
Now looking at 139.
Oh, yeah, let me skip that.
I'm gonna show you what's the mark, the 60172 echo. You recognize this is the 172 echo.
I do.
How do you recognize this is the 172?
These are the notes that I made this morning in reference to the location.
Same location information that's contained within the excerpt in the 60134 echo chart.
That's correct. That's where I got it from.
And did you just say, what did you do in order to do that?
Basically, I just used a snippet tool, a line off of the records, and then copied it on a Word document. And then I took the the latitude and longitude that was provided by AT&T in their records and threw it into Google Maps. And it
So
gave me
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Anybody could have did what he did. Anybody could go on Google Map and Google something and do the same thing what he did. But it still don't say
And I
who
just
was he
screened
really
their
who he was
snippet,
talking to.
basically the Google Maps with the pin location, and then I just
You psychology on y'all.
put that picture in the Word document, and then basically created notes that I could see what Latin long and a visual aid for myself with a pin dropped.
And will that assist you in telling me where that phone was, that 1990 phone was on, between April 25th and April 26th, 2016?
Yes, absolutely.
At this time, state would like to tender faces in 172E as a demonstrative.
Now they go here. They go again with the phone numbers up here.
And place us at 9:58 p.m.
Oh, this ain't necessary.
Okay.
on the 25th. So you have to roll back because that's placing us the day before.
I don't think this is necessary. What they doing right here? Cause it still does not say that they was talking to me on the phone. Cause I leave my phone sitting around all the time.
You said turned off. Okay. Okay, now it's off. Okay.
And most of these guys has more than one phone.
General location, your address.
So generally speaking, it's just a little bit north of the I-75, I-85 split on the bottom side of Atlanta. So it's, if we were looking at a clock, it's 6 o'clock, meaning down, straight down from the center of Atlanta where the connector is, just north of the split, the 75-85 split. I can give you the latitude and longitude.
I don't understand what this has to do. This
Number. Did you pop another call after this?
Oh, yes.
What time was it?
It's 0516, so that's 1:16 a.m. on the 26th.
somebody graded around that graded curve. I know exactly
And
what they're
where
talking about.
is the area that you found it?
It's
it's just west of the I-20, I-75, I-85 connection. Just that's right at the bottom part of the Grady curve. Basically, near the state capitol, just south of the state capitol.
Yeah, I know where y'all
At
talking.
the I-20, 75, 85 kind of intersection area.
All right. And what number was contacted?
Our 1990 YSL Enterprise phone is calling 504-346-9596.
So what you trying to say that
346-9596.
they are communicating
correct.
while they're in the
What's
car?
the next location that she called, or next time you called it?
So this is going to be 0657 hours. So -4.
2:57 a.m.
That's correct. On the 26th.
What's the area this for?
So that's going to be kind of west of Georgia Tech. So we're now, if we're looking at a clock, we're now looking at like at 10 o'clock if we were drawing from the center of Atlanta out to northwest of like
So they headed.
kind of where we're at now.
So what they doing? They coming,
Just west, it's western
going
direction
north
from like the
side.
Georgia Tech area.
Yeah, Georgia
I can
Tech.
give you a better reference point if you would like.
So they going. They
It's
when they
getting
come in
into
that
the
curve,
area
they going.
of Brady
Okay.
Avenue, the compound.
Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna tell you the direction where they're headed right here is they getting ready to go to they going over there in them apartments. What you call they used to be it used to be some projects over there by Georgia Tech. They headed that way when they right here. Exactly, where the varsity. And you get off at the varsity and take that left. So they coming around the curb on Grady. And he communicating with these guys right here. But how he get back right here? She need to move the capital because the capital is not nowhere coming around the curve. These two should be connected right here. So y'all need to watch this stuff too. What is the name of those apartments used to be over there? Ted.
All right. And what number is being contacted?
So the ISL Enterprise phone is being contacted by 404-664-3383, which is the phone number that the subscriber information comes back to Jimmy Winfrey.
So Winfrey over there in them projects.
What's the next time that you called it?
0657. I'm sorry, 0658. I'm sorry. So
What
just
is
1 minute
Winfrey
later.
got to do? What is Winfrey doing?
It's at 2:58 a.m.
That is correct.
Always doing something. Jesus.
Say 4/26/2015.
That's correct.
Where's the area of that phone?
The compound, Brady Avenue.
They coming, they going to the
Same
compound.
Northwest Georgia Tech.
That's correct.
They going where the compound this way. I don't understand that. So compound is over there by the grave.
So the number calling our YSL phone number is 404-901-5726.
So what they trying to say that he on the phone talking to
What's the next
somebody
one?
headed
It's
to
0703.
compound.
So the -4 conversion is 303
That's what
AM.
it said. Who is he talking to on the phone?
Where's that phone body?
Similarly the same, Brady Avenue, Club Compound.
Right. This ain't what I thought it was.
And what's the phone number?
So the phone number calling our YSL Enterprise phone number is 404-664-3383. 3383, which is what we've identified as Jimmy Winfrey.
Winfrey. Tell you, that boy is something else.
And for all of you, this is where the cell tower is located for these plots.
Correct.
Patient areas.
I stand objection.
Looking at the chart from yesterday, do you see some of the same location names that you identified yesterday?
Same objection, Your Honor. I stand objection.
Yesterday at 2:01 a.m., did you notate that on April 26th, that this phone, the 3883 phone, was in the area of Brady Avenue?
Objection, Your Honor, it calls for speculation.
What rule, sir? I'll sustain this to reading, but I'm not, I'll overrule that's the answer.
What time, looking at what we did yesterday, at 2:01 and 3:04, is there a notation regarding Brady Avenue?
There is.
And at that time, what phone number was being contacted?
The 1990 YSL Enterprise phone.
And based on yesterday, did you identify a particular area based on this chart that we did yesterday?
I did.
What was that?
So that's Brady Avenue, Old Compound.
Now, looking at what we just discussed, do you see a notation for the 1990 phone at about 2:57 a.m.?
I stand objection.
Is there a line for 2:57 a.m. on what we just charted out?
There is.
Okay. And on that same line, is that line number 8?
Yes,
Okay, on that same line number 8, did you identify a general area?
I did.
What was that?
Objection, Your Honor, may we approach?
Sure.
Thank you.
She telling him what to say. She saying that she being slick, telling him what to say. Y'all ain't picking up what these folks, what the state is doing. The state is being slicker. They ain't slicker than nobody. They sit up here giving them the information. They telling them what to say. That ain't right. And she loved the fellas. She can't wait to get up there. Look, then they whispering. Look, y'all. Look. They whispering to each other. Look at him. The state think they slick. The state need to look. Now she wanna look. Now they wanna talk before they come up there. Look at her. Because she knows she just made a mistake. The state think they slick. And they supposed to have all the answers. And then she want to stand back there and look over with everybody head at the man, this ain't right, man. She's sitting up there telling that man what to say in a slick way. I ain't crazy. Y'all gonna have to watch them, man. Really, they supposed to have everything laid out. Prosecutor doing. She telling that man what to say. The judge know what she doing. The judge know exactly what she doing. They do it all the time. State does it all the time. Well, nobody's stupid. You telling that man what to say. Let me skip it, bro. They get on my nerves. They get on my nerve. I ain't never seen nothing like this. And they supposed to have everything squared away. See? And then they're gonna take a break. No.
Agent Racy, if you could be here tomorrow morning for
Oh,
9:30,
Lord, y'all,
9:45.
I'll see y'all later on today, okay?
Okay, all right, I'm gonna release you at this time, sir.
Yes, sir.
Don't discuss testimony of anybody except the attorneys in this
He
case.
getting on my
Yes, sir.
nerve. He getting on my nerve.
Remember, if you have any, you can inquire.
Hold on, let me see what I can look out for my boys. Y'all trying
Ladies
to
and
put
gentlemen, unless you
boys.
have any other questions.
One thing about Atlanta, y'all, well, y'all got to be ready when y'all go in these
9:30
courtrooms.
10 o'clock.
These folks want to see y'all behind these bars.
All right.
Come on, Judge.
We are checking on your pay, as I told you. That is being submitted. And
Talking about pay. Come on,
remember,
here,
if you have any
let's talk
issues
about this. See what's going on right here. Let's get to this. Lord Sharp. What they still don't mean that was Young Thug phone. They could have been on. He got a lot of folks. Y'all ain't got nothing on him. That's all I got to say. Yeah, ain't got nothing on him yet.
all right. Ladies and gentlemen, any other minister inquire with me, so not I'll release you till tomorrow morning.
Can I make a motion and then, just let me know if I can do this tomorrow so I don't waste the time. Is that okay? Not waste the time, but take up the time.
What motion do you wish to make, sir?
So I made it that the state asked Agent Racy whether Mr. Winfrey pled guilty shortly after the October phone call that was played over objection, where he was, where an unknown person states that another unknown person stated he would get a Porsche.
Yeah, we covered that already. So let's see. You have an additional objection, sir?
Yes, so this is my issue. So the state said that he pleaded guilty, knowing, and
But we covered that, Mr. Steele. We covered that. So what's the additional ruling on it?
knowing that that was not a guilty plea. That was a coerced guilty plea is not a guilty plea.
But we had a discussion at the bench, and I told you that you can inquire into that depending upon what was testified to.
Laugh because you know he about to get cussed out.
But my point is that was so low blow to say a month later a man who was coerced by a Superior Court judge in Cobb County pled guilty, that I don't know if I can overcome that, because the impression is that Mr. Winfrey was being rewarded for his guilty plea. The state knows that guilty plea was not.
But we don't know as I mentioned earlier at the bench, we don't know the circumstances of why that particular first guilty plea was rejected. I don't think it's relevant for our purposes. I think the state said they weren't going to get into it. Again, for the second time, because we covered that up at the bench, do you have anything else you wish to add to that? I don't think the state was trying to insinuate anything. If you want to test that or reason, because it might go to bias, it might go to motive to misrepresent. So
look at that.
It bothers me a great deal, and I'm surprised, but I'm not ever in the mind of the court. It doesn't bother the court because it doesn't go to bias, and the state knows exactly what they know, and you know.
I don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
The first time that I knew that there was an appellate opinion is when you told me, and that's it. I don't have any other knowledge of that.
Well, I read under opinion, and Winfrey versus State specifically states, and it gives what happened, that the Honorable Judge Staley in Cobb County coerced a human being to enter a guilty plea. For the state of Georgia to say did he plead guilty a month later,
that's right.
That to me is beyond the pale. And I would like the court to.
I think that's just them asking. They're not asking why, which would be improper. But because it gets into evidence that would be not relevant for this particular proceeding.
It's relevant.
I'm like so twisted in my mind. I'm not tired, but I don't follow. It should have never come in. It did come in. Now I have to deal with it. You tell me I'm cross. And
I don't think you're conflating, Mr. Steele, the bottom line basis as to why the initial guilty plea was rejected by our appellate court. I'm telling you that I don't know what the basis of that. I still don't know because I didn't read the opinion. The state didn't solicit that or elicit it from the witness. They only just said, hey, he pled guilty on another thing a month later. But the relevant portion that the court heard was the fact that if the jury wants to believe it, is the why as to what Mr. Winfrey may or may not have gotten. And that's the only thing that I heard at this point in time.
I think that, from being a person who loves what we do and loves the courts, I think it's offensive to say and have an agent testify that a guilty plea occurred when everybody knows or should know that guilty plea is not a guilty plea, it is struck, vacated.
Okay, and Mr. Steele, I'm kind of just telling you that the reason and rationale is not, that would be totally improper for us to get into.
Okay.
I would agree about that, but I don't think that was the state's intention in asking that.
Oh, how you know? Come on, Judge.
I'll note your concern.
They were intentionally to do this.
So I'm going to make a proffer then.
I called it.
10 seconds if I may. And I understand what you said. Of course, I'll follow your
I'm
rule.
done.
But I was going to ask Agent Racy, I was going to take the opinion, and I would
I'm done.
perfect to the opinion.
I'm gonna tell you.
And you stated that this man pled guilty. The man actually wanted to go to trial. You can say yes or no. The man was then told by Judge Staley that she doesn't see him winning. She knows the people in Cobb County. They will not like him. He will go to prison. He's going to be sentenced for X number of years, whatever the opinion says, and then he can answer the questions. And I will then ask the court to strike that testimony again, like I did earlier. I understand you're telling me it's not relevant. I believe that it should
is
never
relevant
come in the first place, and the state of Georgia has misled the jury. He did not plead guilty a month later because we do not recognize that as a guilty. When
And that's the
we,
truth.
our
He's telling the
system
truth.
of what we call just was not. It was perverted.
Okay, all right. State, hold on, Miss Matthews. State wish to be heard on that issue.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Ms. Hilton.
Your Honor, first I want to direct the court to an order that was entered on April 9, 2024, in which there was an order in which we cannot discuss the appellate process. What is a fact is that Mr. Winfrey pled a month later. What the state asked, which was my next question.
Y'all made him.
And I forget how I phrased the question. Did he have to plead again and plead again to the same charge?
Y'all tricked that
And he
boy.
said yes, approximately a year later, to show that there was something that occurred and he had to plead again. But the fact remained that 1 month later, he took a plea. Now, the reason why it was overturned, or the reason why that is the appellate process in which the court has ordered that we cannot discuss and that we cannot get into. What Mr. Steele is speaking of is the reason why it was overturned. That is not for this jury to determine. They can know he pled once and then he had to plead again.
But they don't know that. The jury don't know that,
Imagine
though.
is on cross-examination.
Jury don't know
If I
that.
did not ask that question, they would have crossed him on it. And so what I did was ask him about a fact, which was a fact. Which was a fact. And then did something else occur later on, which is also a fact. And if Mr. Steele is going to go into what occurred during the appellate process, he's going to be assuming facts, not in evidence, because that we never asked him anything about the appellate
When
process.
did I enter that order?
On April 9, 2024.
Okay, all right. So I've already dealt with that issue, Mr. Steele. I note your objection, so I don't believe that those questions would be relevant for this inquiry.
See, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with it. I'm telling y'all right now. If you're not paying attention, they are slick putting stuff in their remarks. Y'all don't understand what the state is doing. You're not gonna agree because you might not understand what they're doing. They are telling they are wording things, slick wording things and putting things in there not supposed to be in there, but they slick doing it. And I like that they are the way they are putting things in there. But I'm glad that the defense is catching it. I called it. Y'all didn't catch it because you're not listening. You got to listen. What the state doing? They. In other words, they know that Mr. Steele is listening. Mr. Steele heard. I caught it, and then that's when they want to go over there and talk. Man, I tell you, I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all gonna have a good day. I'm out.